Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
A job posting has been circulating on social media claiming WPD Ambulance are looking to hire ambulance drivers in Lloydminster, but the ambulance company says it's part of a scam. Jace Mackey has more.
This job post caught a lot of people's eyes on social media. The posting claims WPD Ambulance are looking to hire ambulance drivers with the only qualification being a driver's license. While the post may look real at first glance, it's actually a scam according to the company. In a statement provided to Primetime Local News, WPD Ambulance says that scammers who use technology to gain private information put employers and employment seekers at risk, adding that people who responded to the posting could have put their personal or banking information in jeopardy. Earlier this year, Lloydminster RCMP warned about an increase in fraud in the Lloydminster area after a rise in gift card scams.
It has been one of the more frequent crimes that have been reported and committed in the Lloydminster area. We do get on average of just a little better than one per day.
The RCMP encouraged residents to be vigilant regarding calls or emails from unfamiliar numbers or addresses. People should avoid giving out personal or financial information online or over the phone if pressured. Victims of scams or fraud should report it to the Lloydminster RCMP or the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre.
The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre is a number that citizens can call, 1-800-495-8501. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre has a lot of resources on their site, and often we refer people to that site. They have a lot of education on there as well. They have an A to Z index where you can kind of index a lot of different frauds that are going on, sometimes by name. But also, we would encourage people, if anybody ever feels like they're in that type of situation or receives an email, a text message, a phone call that they think may be a little bit suspect, definitely welcome to reach out to Lloydminster RCMP.
WPD Ambulance thanks the community for bringing the post to their attention, and they say they are seeking qualified applicants and encourage them to apply on their secure website. For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
The Lloydminster and District SPCA is looking for the community's help as they are currently overrun with cats and kittens. Over the course of the summer, the SPCA has taken in a lot more cats than usual. In June, they tripled their adoption numbers, and in July doubled them. Right now, all their feline kennels are full, and they're hoping the community can provide some help.
So what we're really looking for right now is homes for our adoptable cats so that we're able to move more cats up for adoption and therefore accept more kitties in from our community. In addition, if you're not able to adopt, which is totally understandable, opening your home temporarily as a foster parent still helps us get more animals in the door.
Currently, it is kitten season here in the border city, and the SPCA says if cats are spayed and neutered, they can avoid overpopulation.
More kitties are indoor-outdoor as opposed to the winter time. So with the population of pets we have here in Lloyd and really everywhere that aren't fixed and are let outdoors to free roam, we see a higher instance come April, May of litters coming in, and that just continues right until about October or November every year.
Besides monetary donations, they are also looking for some physical items to help out with the animals.
We've been looking for paper towel as of late. We can never have enough of that, as well as we always appreciate donations of litter boxes. We go through a lot, they get dirty, so having those on hand to give to our foster parents or to use in shelters always greatly appreciated.
If you are looking to adopt or foster an animal, visit the Lloydminster and District SPCA's Facebook page for more information. Now Connor Chan will take a first look at your Friday weather.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. Looking at temperatures, we're still in that heat warning. Not a big surprise. The big surprise is I did say yesterday we were going to see some showers, but that system decided to move further westbound, into the Edmonton areas and going up a little bit north of Edmonton. So nowhere quite near us yet, but expected to have some rain ourselves here. Hopefully by Sunday is the expected time. We got a little bit of cloud coverage right now, 30 degrees right now with the temperatures there. Looking at some other temperatures, 32 in Vermilion, 31 in the Marwayne areas, 29 in St. Paul, a little bit cooler cooler, of course, as we get to those Edmonton areas, as they're seeing that little bit of that system of rain, as well as going further north up that way. Lac La Biche sitting at 21 degrees, 32 in Macklin with 33 in North Battleford, 31 in St. Walburg and in Maidstone. And just to clarify, for taking a look here at the satellite radar map right here, as we take a look here, everything's kind of slowing down in terms of our computer system as it's not quite catching up, but there was that big system of radar, of precipitation, that is making its way for the northern parts of Edmonton there. Now, as we kind of get caught up here, as we try to take a look at North Battleford temperatures, we are probably going to see temperatures get around that low 20s. There we go. As we skipped over the radar, but that's okay. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. 15 overnight North Battleford with some cloud coverage. 25 overnight, or tomorrow, with the daytime highs. I'm getting a little bit confused. I mean, it is Friday. It's, of course, getting ready for the weekend here. Could see some showers overnight in Cold Lake at 13 degrees and 22 for the high for them tomorrow. And then for us here at Lloydminster, a little bit clearer skies and a few clouds at 13. And then 23 is our expected daytime high for tomorrow. And here's a look at the next 3 days. We are going to get a little bit cooler, so it is going to be a nice cool day, and even tomorrow with that mid-20 temperatures, and we could see that continuing on into the weekend here. Like I said, could see a chance of some rain on Sunday for ourselves, though numbers could change, of course, throughout the weekend. And then 23 degrees on Monday with that low of 9, so we're definitely going to get a little bit cooler going into the daytime lows. That is a look at your weather for now. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Alberta Open Farm Days is 2 days agritourism event that encourages Albertans to get a behind-the-scenes look at the variety of farms. Jillian Code has the details on what guests can expect.
Today I am joined by Tim Carson. He is the CEO of the Alberta Association of Agricultural Societies. Tim, thank you for joining me today.
I'm happy to do so.
So Alberta Open Farm Days is right around the corner. It's on August 14th and 15th. What can you tell me about this event?
So this year is the 9th year of Open Farm Days. We're very excited to be moving forward as we had through COVID and everything like that. We're looking at an increase in host farms again this year, which is terrific. We've got 111 farms registered for the event next weekend. I'm fully anticipating a huge participation from Albertans as they get out there and have the chance to go out and meet the farmer and tour Alberta.
Absolutely. And meeting the farmer isn't just, a farmer with a pitchfork in a field anymore. Farming's really evolved out of conventional farming. What types of farms will people be able to see at Open Farm Days?
Yeah, that historical image, if you will, of the farmer with the pitchfork is far outdated. It's more the farmer with the drone and the laptop is more accurate these days than anything else. Honestly, you'll see everything from alpacas to zucchini. There's dairy farms and cheeseries, and new this year we've got a yak ranch, which is really interesting out of Caroline. We've got a forage and farm group out of the foothills, and we've actually got a worm farm out of Nisku, which is really cool, and I'm actually excited to go down and see that one. So it does really span the gamut of what agriculture is here in Alberta. From bees and everything in between. It's really quite amazing, the agriculture that we have here.
It really is. I think that's something that a lot of Albertans have really realized through the pandemic is there's a lot of amazing businesses and farms right in their own backyard. For someone who's maybe on the fence about attending Open Farm Days this year, what would you say to them to maybe convince them to go?
First off, these are some of the most hospitable people you will ever meet anywhere. Farming and agriculture has always been an industry of handshakes and hugs, which is a great way to interpret the people that are out there. I think it's a really brilliant opportunity to see the advancement in agriculture and understand not only how our farmers feed not only us, but really the world. Alberta is truly a breadbasket for the world, but also how they steward the land and how they manage the environment. Media does a really wonderful way of telling messages and things of that nature, but really having that opportunity to see how things are actually working is really tremendous. Not to mention the fact that you'll probably travel places, see roads and scenery that you don't normally see if you're only traveling the pavement and driving up and down the major corridors. It's as much a tourism event as it is an agricultural event. And these are unique opportunities for the hosts to provide an experience that you won't get anywhere else.
And I know for some of the sites, maybe not all of the sites, but there will be some taste testing.
So we have some wonderful culinary events, some long table stuff, some barbecues, some tastings, things of that nature. So you'll actually get a feel for the where it came from and the quality of food that's being not only grown here and provided here, but actually prepared here as well. I think the value add that comes to our province from agriculture is quite tremendous, right up from that food processing side of things to the whole culinary side, where we've seen a lot of restaurants and a lot of chefs who are really dedicating themselves to local food. So that's a tremendous sort of aspiration, if you will, for Open Farm Days to continue that trend. We also have the whole farm to bottle industry that has really exploded here in Alberta between the breweries and the distilleries and the wineries. We are creating an amazing local palate, a regional palate on both food and drink from this great province of ours. And I think that the entrepreneurship, the advancement of technology, and the ability for people to really start to diversify our rural communities is wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for being able to join me.
No problem at all. You too. Take care.
Now we'll take a look at your egg prices. It has been over 600 days since CFL fans saw the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defeat the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the 107th Grey Cup back on November 24, 2019. Thursday night, the CFL made its return, but as Evan Kenny reports, it's not all smooth sailing.
Players are ready to once again hit the gridiron for the 2021 CFL season.
To miss a year, it seems like it's been, that West Finals seems like forever ago, but it feels good to be back in Regina and good to see the guys again. And it's just an awesome feeling. It's kind of like Christmas Day.
Thursday night, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers returned to the field in game shape. After giving up a touchdown on the opening drive of the game, the Bombers came back to score 19 straight points and lock down defensively.
Great protection here all day. Still got time. Goes end zone. Open man. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Kenny Lawler.
Naturally, after 20 months without game action, the Ticats saw bumps in the road. Without playing a game yet, other teams are also seeing problems. The Edmonton Elks canceled their player walkthrough and media availability ahead of the contest Saturday versus the Ottawa Red Blacks. This comes just after the CFL announced its COVID-19 policy.
Deepest start for Saskatchewan.
While Hoos and the rest of the Saskatchewan Roughriders haven't had issues with this yet, they say they'll do whatever it takes to play.
It's just the way it is when this agreement was put into place back in February. So we have to honor that, and that's just kind of where we're at. So I'm just happy to be playing football. I said earlier I'm not going to complain about one thing this year because I know what it feels like to have the game taken away from you. And if I got to do 10 tests a day, I'll happily do that.
The Riders will open their season hosting the BC Lions tonight. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now Connor Chan will take another look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. As we take a look at temperatures right now, still moving out west, definitely things have cooled off quite a bit as some thunderstorm activities and some showers making their way more so into the west and northwestern parts around those Athabasca and Edmonton North areas. So 20 degrees in Edmonton, 21 in Red Deer, 18 degrees in Rocky Mount House with 16 in Jasper. Moving over into Saskatchewan, there's lots of special air quality statements in effect right now from Environment Canada throughout pretty much all of Saskatchewan is seeing that right now. But 33 degrees in North Battleford, 32 in Saskatoon, and then 30 in Meadow Lake and Prince Albert as well. Now moving up to the northern parts of Saskatchewan, we see temperatures also back to continuing to be in those mid-20 level temperatures. 22 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows with 23 in La Ronge, as well as in Wollaston Lake, 24 for Uranium City and Stony Rapids. Looking over to northern Alberta, also seeing in those low 20s and even outside of the 20s in Slave Lake at 15, 20 in Peace River and Grand Prairie, 22 in Fort McMurray and in High Level as well. Now looking ahead to southern Alberta, and southern Saskatchewan, we are seeing those 30 degrees days continuing on as the heat is still making strong waves there in southern Alberta and as well as in southern Saskatchewan. 31 for Medicine Hat and Lethbridge right now with 29 degrees in Calgary, 32 for Coronation. And looking over to southern Saskatchewan, still seeing some 31s in that Swift Current and Moose Jaw areas, 29 in Regina and Yorkton, and then we see 32 degrees, one of the warmer spots on the map in Kindersley, along with that Coronation with 32 as well. Now taking a look across the country, we're continuing to see lots of cloud coverage making their way through as we're still seeing some of that smoke making its way into that Manitoba area, as we could see some showers making their way into Manitoba over the course of the weekend as well. 25 though for Winnipeg, 29 in Toronto with 27 in Quebec City, and then 20 degrees right now in Halifax, 25 in St. John's as well, 23 degrees in Vancouver, as well as up in the Yellowknife areas, and then some rain up in Whitehorse, Yukon at 12 degrees. Now we are going to go off, drop down quite a bit in terms of our temperatures. We're going to be around that 23 degrees for tomorrow. So things are definitely going to start to cool off for the weekend, and that could translate into the rest of the week as well. As we look at 23 degrees, we'll see that for Lloydminster, Maidstone, Marway, and 23 also in St. Paul, 22 in Bonnyville and Cold Lake and Lac La Biche, as well as in the Edmonton areas, 26 in both Provost and Macklin, and then 25 out in North Battleford. Now here's a look at the next couple of days here. So yes, I mentioned we're going to start to see things cool off quite a bit, so we'll be back to those mid-range temperatures on that Monday, Tuesday, as well as into Wednesday as well. It could see a little bit more clear skies and things start to get a little bit warmer again on Thursday, Friday with 25 and 27 degrees. Normally we average around 22 now for the month of August for our highs, and 10 degrees will be our average lows for that month of August. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
I'm speaking with author Jeff Perry, who's released a book called Fail to Win Because of the Beatles. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, right on, Shelby. It's good to be here.
Now, this book was released yesterday, actually, on the 5th. What can readers expect in this?
Well, it's a long story, but it took 7 years to write. And I've been in the music entertainment business, if you will, since, I guess, 43 years, I guess. Now 65, and people always said, because the music business, the entertainment business has some crazy stuff going on at the best of times. So people always said, should write a book. And I, never really thought of doing that. I couldn't even write my own name in school. So thinking of writing a book was like not first on my agenda. But anyways, so that was always said to me because I tell people some of the crazy stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Excuse me. But we really came to a head, a couple of reasons. I think I always remember my grandmother writing her memoirs when she was on her last days, if you will. And at that time she was, capable of a couple of pages in a ballpoint pen and, nothing really legible. And I always thought maybe you should do that when you're Corpus Mentis type of thing, right? For your kids, that is. So that's sort of in the back of my mind to just, I've always, I've got passion about what I do and all this kind of stuff. And I just thought something for the kids to have in the mantelpiece when I'm sitting there on the mantelpiece in a little box one day. But that being said, so So I've had a lot of ups and downs, and if you're in business for yourself, that's just whether it's a shoe business or the music business, it goes with the territory. If you want to be an entrepreneur, there's no rules, and nobody feels sorry for you, and you're the last guy paid and the guy that sweeps up afterwards, sort of thing. So 2013, it had come to I think my fifth, sixth, whatever downturn that and this was a pretty significant one where everything was just falling apart at once. At the same time, I put on the biggest show we'd ever done at McMahon Stadium on August 15th, 2013 for flood aid for the victims of the flood in Calgary. We had like Nickelback on there, Randy Bachman, Loverboy, Colin James, Tom Cochran, etc. Just raised a whole bunch of money, over $1 million for that, and had 35,000 people out, and community was all coming together. And that was the worst. Yeah. First of all, like you're stressed right out doing that. We had 6 weeks to do all that, and that was crazy. Luckily I had lots of help, but same time we had shows going on in Chicago, London, and New York, and everything was crashing down at once business wise, to make a long story short. So it was like, what should have been like a great night ended up being like, quite a bad night business wise. And the big show I didn't make any money for us. It was a benefit. So I just sort of decided that night, I just thought, just hit the skids here for the whatever time it was. But every time I hit the skids or things went bad, I've always had this, not theory, but it's actually truth, that I elevated if you could stick to it, as someone said, keep riding the bike, you can elevate yourself much higher than you had been prior. So it was almost like okay, we're going to challenge you. But if you can keep riding the bike, you're going to get above where you were. And that's always been the case from when I was actually 5 years old, if you will. But everything that's bad seemed to turn into something good, but you sort of had to ride it out, if you will, and not give up. And so I thought, okay, well, this would be a good time to maybe write a book for entrepreneurs, not necessarily about the music business, to show them, it's not all wine and roses and, limousines and whatever. And if anything, you might be driving the limousine, So I thought it'd be kind of cool to just give my experiences because I've mentored kids in business classes and stuff like that, but to have a real time sort of thing to say, well, if you're going to go into business, this is the kind of the journey you're going to go on, and you may not want to go on that journey. So that night I decided, yeah, I should do that. And then at the same time, like I said, I wanted to leave something for my kids. So that's when I sort of began, was the 13th, August 15th, 2013. And now it's 8 years later type of thing. So.
And this book was in collaboration with another author, correct? So
I just thought, I don't like doing this. I don't like this process, but if I can find someone I can talk to about it, that's where I'm better. That's how I'm more together. And so I got a hold of the critic at the Calgary Herald, Louis Hobson, who's like 10 years older than me, I think. And it was a neat thing. We become like fast best friends out of the whole deal. But so he's been a theater critic in Calgary for probably 50 years, as well as a teacher and blah, blah, blah. And I knew him 30 some odd years ago, because we didn't really travel in the same circles. He's more into the theater scene. As much as I was starting to produce theater things, we really didn't run across each other that much. And for some reason I thought of Louis. For some reason I had his email or phone number, and I just emailed him out of the blue and said, "Hey Louis, it's Jeff Perry. I'm writing a book. Would you be interested in helping me out?" And he got back to me right away. "Yeah, I will." I was like, "Really? Okay." So we got together pretty much every Thursday at a Vietnamese restaurant in Calgary, and I'd buy us wonton soup, and I just sort of spill my guts, and he'd had a recorder, because he's old school too. He'd write things down at a recorder, and we just sort of elaborated on the 100 pages and made it into, I don't know, more than that. And then he enlisted somebody else, former principal, who's also a writer, to help frame it. And she basically said, "Well, you need twice as much as you got, or 3 times as much as you got." I went, "What? I thought we were done here." And then so she helped us out. Susan did, as well as then she brought in a couple other people. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a collaboration. And for me, it's, I always think it's fun to learn something new every day. And I was definitely learning a new, like you said, it called me an author. I mean, I ain't no author.
For people interested, where can they all access this book right now?
I should know that. I don't. I mean, Amazon for sure. And it's in an ebook and hardcover or soft cover, I guess. I don't even know, to be honest. It's a good point. I guess if you go to Amazon, you can check it out. And then the audio book will be out. Like I said, it wasn't ready on time. but it will be shortly. So like I said, I know Amazon for sure. Google failed to win because of the Beatles, and you'll find it.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining me today, Jack.
Cool. Take care.
Just hanging out with the Hunter brothers. Tomorrow night, they're going to be live in Paradise Hill for the annual Summer Bash. And the Hunter brothers put on such a great live show. They're so high energy, a lot of great music that you're going to want to two-step to. And it's for a great cause to raise funds for the Paradise Hill Community Center. Opening up for the Hunter brothers, going to be the Dirt Rich Band. Plus, when you head out to Paradise Hill for the Summer Bash, it's a full evening. You can also get a ticket for a great meal beforehand, and there's going to be a fundraising auction as part of the evening as well. Chance for you to bid on a fishing trip, a getaway, some hay bales, and so much more. To get your tickets for one of the biggest parties of the summer, go to eventbrite.ca. Get your ticket to see the Hunter brothers live at the Paradise Hill Summer Bash. Coming up on Sunday, you're in store for a great day at the Frenchman Butte Museum as they host their 30th annual festival. There's so much history at this museum and so much planned for this great day coming up on Sunday. Things will start at 11 a.m. with a church service. Then they've got live entertainment all day long on their stage. They're going to have a huge parade, and if you have a classic car or truck and you want to be a part of that parade, you can still get entered. There's going to be a nail hammering competition. There's going to be different demonstrations. Maybe you're going to play some mini golf. Maybe you're going to enjoy the homemade pie. Make sure you get a ticket for their quilt raffle, and they also have a roast beef supper as well. A busy day, but a great day is planned on Sunday out at the Frenchman Butte Museum. You still have time to get a team together and get registered for Levis's second annual Bones Tourney. It's coming up at the end of this month in Kitscoty. A chance for you to have a fun day with your friends and win some cool prizes as well, all while supporting the Lloydminster and Area Brain Injury Society. You can get registered by stopping by their office today. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Well, joining us for the entertainment panel is Abby St. John. Abby, Stranger Things Season 4 has been delayed for a while now. We haven't quite got our first official look, but Netflix did recently release a little bit of a teaser and a release date, an official day that we could actually see the final season, or not the final season, but rather the newest season of Stranger Things 4.
Yes, this is very exciting news. We've been waiting for a while to see what year we're actually going to get it, and we will be getting it next year in 2022. So that's just exciting. We don't have an official date or day that it will be dropped, but it is set for 2022, which is very exciting. They did release a little bit of a 30-second teaser trailer, kind of highlighting what possibly we could expect. And producer Sean Levy has teased that the show will be larger in scale than anything we've seen in the previous seasons. They're going really big and beyond with this season, and I'm very excited for it to premiere. And they're fast approaching the end of filming, so they will be wrapping very, very soon on that. So then we can, slowly get an idea of what date next year that we will expect season 4. One of the series stars, Gaten Matarazzo, has stated that the new season will be the scariest out of all of them, which I'm also very excited for. An earlier teaser that they had released last year did show Hopper alive in a Russian prison, which gave watchers some answers, but it also left some questions of what to expect and how he got there and why he's there and how he's going to escape. Because the rest of the actors or the stars, they think his character is dead. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. And this new trailer had shown Levin seemingly being taken by the same people from the facility she spent the first half of her life in. So it's going to be interesting to see what we can expect with the different lives now that Eleven has moved to California with Joyce and her kids. So I'm very excited to see what they do with this season. You know, I hope that it's scarier. I know that they're going really big with this season, so I'm very excited.
And well, of course, there's, like you said, lots of unanswered questions, and yeah, lots of Stranger Things fans have just been dying to see what season 4 has to offer. And like you said, 2022, we'll finally get to know the answers. One of the answers we finally have the answer to, Abby, is the new host of Jeopardy. We saw this string of wonderful celebrity hosts over the past couple of months, replacing the late Alex Trebek, from Neil deGrasse Tyson to Aaron Rodgers to Mayim Bialik, but we finally have the successor to the host of Jeopardy.
Yes, executive producer Mike Richards of the show is in advanced talks and negotiations to become the new permanent host of Jeopardy. Like you said, after Alex Trebek's death in last November, there had been a series of hosts, but they're very much solidifying their permanent host in the executive producer Richards. He joined the show just last year as the executive producer, and Sony was impressed with his command of the fast-paced game and easy on-air manner. Now, he may not be super familiar for a lot of people, but he has previously hosted the series Divided and The Pyramid, and has been an executive or co-executive producer for shows like The Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal. But by the time he joined the show Jeopardy, he had produced more than 4,000 hours of game shows. So it's safe to say that he has a ton of experience when it comes to different game shows, and I think he's the perfect person to take over as the permanent host for Jeopardy, because it is such a fast-paced game and you really need to have that experience that even Alex Trebek had. So I think he's the perfect person to take over for Alex Trebek.
And yeah, he just has that good voice, like you said, just a good, nice broadcast type voice, as you and I know, as we went to school for that kind of fun stuff as well. And one of the last things, I have one of the little side notes here as we wrap things up. We know that Guillermo del Toro was making a Pinocchio, his version, a little bit more of a horror side of things with a great cast, but it did get pushed back. And how far exactly did it get pushed back?
Yes, it will be releasing on Netflix sometime in 2022. It was originally supposed to be released on Netflix this year, but it has been pushed back. And this will be a dark fantasy stop motion version of the story of Pinocchio. So like you said, it's going to be a little bit more of a horror-based movie apart from the Disney version. Some have suggested that the reasoning behind pushing it back is due to Del Toro having another film, Nightmare Alley, coming out in December, which no doubt will be in contention for the Oscars. And with Pinocchio also being released, it's another likely Academy Award contender. So it would make sense for them not to be to keep them out of the same year of the years running. So that's kind of the reasoning that's been thrown around. He just didn't want both of his films to be released in the same year. So I'm assuming that we'll expect to see Pinocchio sometime early next year. Hopefully that is the case, because I'm very excited to see what kind of film this is. Even though stop motion kind of freaks me out a little bit, I am very excited to see what he does with this story.
And of course, we all know that Guillermo del Toro is no stranger to winning Oscars, as he won 13 for The Shape of Water. Abby St. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. We are going to drop quite a bit in terms of our daytime high for the next couple of days here. 19 on Sunday, 23 degrees on Monday. Could see some showers on top of that for Sunday. 22 degrees on Tuesday with 23 on Wednesday. And then we could see warm temperatures come back once again with 25 degrees on Thursday and then 27 on Friday.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.